Good afternoon, it's James here from Realiste AI in Dubai. I'm here with my colleague. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dennis. I'm an angel manager in Realiste.
So, we have a lot of streams and we often talk about investments and projects and deals and opportunities and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But we don't very often talk too much about the administrative side of things, the logistics of actually how people can buy property here, how they can live here. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So in this stream, we're going to be talking to Dennis, who helps our investors with the whole process of actually purchasing this property. And I guess the first most important question that's top on people's minds is, if they want to buy a property here, how can they actually pay for it if they're overseas,
Yeah, for sure. That's the most important question. Here in Dubai, you have multiple options. The first and the most common option is through the bank transfer.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. You can do it almost from all the countries in the world. Well, some of them, the Swifts are not working, but for majority of the countries, you're able to just transfer by the Swift. By the way, we also offer to our clients the opportunity to transfer via the third party. And save percentage on that.
Yeah, that's right. So I think basically what realist investors can get is institutional exchange rates on all the major currencies.
Yeah.
So if you're going to transfer funds from one country to another country via your retail bank, or even if you have a private bank, the chances are your exchange rate differential, the difference between the buy and the sell price, will be fairly high.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially because you'll be transferring to dirhams usually in most cases. So if you want to, we can introduce you to a currency exchange service who will be able to give you a very, very low exchange rate. So you can reduce your cost of, buying foreign currency dramatically. Probably you can reduce it by 70-80% over what you pay in your bank.
Yeah. Usually in a bank with like all the transaction fees and the currency exchange, you pay like on average 2 to 3%.
Yeah. So and using one of these counterparties and going direct to the institutional currency exchanges, you're looking at maybe 0.5 to 1%.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a substantial saving. If you're transferring, $2 million,
for sure.
That's a lot of money that you're going to save in currency.
Yeah. Then the second option is you can buy the property here in Dubai by cash.
Yeah.
It is simple. Obviously, like if you have a question somehow in Dubai, you're willing to bring it to developer and pay for your apartment. And then the third option that actually a lot of developers accept is crypto. That's actually true because like a lot of people are still like not don't know and don't believe that you can buy property here in Dubai by crypto.
No. The UAE and Dubai in particular, they've got a very good kind of future foresight in terms of technology, and that they actually have got their own cryptocurrency. Okay, the e-dirham, and they are very welcoming to cryptocurrencies and crypto investment. So it is a crypto-friendly country, and as such, most big developers here happy to accept crypto.
Happy to accept crypto. Yes, correct. So you have three options: bank transfer, cash, and crypto.
Okay, so if you are transferring money from overseas, are there going to be any checks on sources of funds or any requirements? Because, a lot of the time there's anti-money laundering regulations, that sort of thing. What does client need to do in order to, to transfer funds here to a developer's account in a clean way that, is all legal and above board?
So usually what developers ask you to, just to fill the form of KYC.
That's know your client, right?
Yeah, just to know your client, exactly. That's the basic form, the basic procedure where you put all of your information, and that's it.
Okay. So it's not like the banks where they're going to ask you specifically for proof of evidence of where these monies come from. They're just going to want you to complete like a declaration to say, okay, this is where I declare the source of funds is from, and that's where it stops as far as the developer is concerned. So it's very simple there. Where do they transfer these funds to? They don't transfer them in a way direct to the developer, right? There's protection for development,
so if you talking here about the escrow account. Okay, so let's first introduce what the escrow account is. So the escrow account is a protected account where the money is transferred, the 50% of all funds that needs to be that developer needs to spend to build the project.
Right.
So 50% of those funds would be held on escrow account, and developer will not have an access to it until he finishes the project.
Yeah, so this is actually, and when you say they don't have access to it, it's because it's actually the government that they have to open that account up with. And then they have to apply to the government when they're at various stages of the project to show the government that they are at that stage, and they have then get to sign off, and then that money will finally be released.
Yes, correct. As you guys may know or may not know, it's been a crisis here, like in Dubai in 2010, I think, around it.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
When there was a lot of bankruptcy from developers here in Dubai. So after that, the DLD, Dubai Land Department, and like the government of Dubai created a law that every developer has to set an escrow account. And as James mentioned before, yes, the developer has to complete a certain process and be like on a certain stage of the developing the project, or have a certain reputation on the market in order to open the escrow account.
It's actually, I think, a much more robust system than you have in most countries around the world.
For sure.
And it's totally transparent as well. I mean, you can go and check that account as an end user, okay? And the first thing you want to do if you want to start a development in Dubai and you're a developer, you have to set up this account so you can start receiving money from end investors.
Well, we have to say that like probably like the first payment that you're gonna do is not going to be on an escrow account, because like it's going to be like a booking fee, and then like you also pay like 4% of a DLD.
That's the tax that you pay, right?
Well, that's kind of a tax,
a fee for a government fee.
You pay it all the time, by the way. Like if you sell an apartment 10 times, the buyers like 10 times is gonna pay the DLD, the fee of 4%. So like the deal structure is going when like you pay the booking amount, then you receive the booking form. It's kind of a document that like before the sales and purchase agreement SPA you get, and you can get your SPA and a CUD. A CUD is the number, the official, the certificate that Dubai Land Department provides you, which means that you officially are registered in the system.
So let's go through the process. So let's say I want to buy a property, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's an off-plan property.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to first pay a booking fee. So I'll transfer that money across. That money's refundable, 2%, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I'll pay my Dubai Land Department tax or fee or whatever they like to call it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's going to happen is that this will be registered in Al Qud, which is like a temporary land registry.
Correct.
Okay. Which up until the point where the property is it handed over, or is it up until the sales and purchase agreement is completed?
No,
Which one?
It's until the handover.
So up until the actual property is handed over, that unit will be in a temporary register called Al Qud, and then afterwards it will be registered with the land department,
and you will get title.
That will be when the title deed is issued.
That's the ownership. Yes.
So then you have your title.
Yes.
Okay. And before that, you have a contract, your sales purchase agreement.
Yeah. So the important thing to understand too, when you get your booking form, you have to wait. Every developer is different, but like from 1 week all the way up to a year, actually, you have to wait for your SPA, sales purchase agreement, and a CUD. So once you receive your SPA signed from both sides and a CUD, that's mean that escrow account is open. That's mean that the project is registered with like Dubai government.
So what happens in the interim if the project doesn't go ahead, or developer is suffering financially and is unable to proceed or goes bankrupt? Okay, what legal rights do the investors have to protect them?
So that's exactly why there's like an escrow account, and that's exactly why Dubai government is doing it. So what they are doing is, if the developer goes bankrupt and is not able to build anymore, the Dubai government will take the money from that escrow account and complete the construction.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, the way they do this is they basically seize the project assets, and then they auction the project to other developers, and the highest bidder basically gets the awarded the project, and they also then have the rights to the funds that are in the escrow account when the project's completed. So that's their incentive to complete the project, because they can get their hands on that money. So and in most cases a lot of the work's already done, right? If it's ever going to go that way. So there's sort of like quite a few layers of protection. I think that, I mean, certainly from where I'm from in the UK, you don't have any of those layers of protection. The government will not intervene at all. You can set up an escrow account, you can have a trust account, but these are all separate legal structures that you have through lawyers usually, not anything related whatsoever to do with the government or the land registry or anything.
No, that's actually a big reason, because like a lot of people are still like asking, is it safe to buy property here in Dubai? Well, yes, like strong yes, because like with an escrow accounts that required for every developer to have, it's like almost impossible to go bankrupt and lose money.
Right. Okay. And the only real risk then is kind of a delay, but then even if the delay is over a certain timeline and that's dictated at the outset, then again it gets awarded to another developer basically. Correct. So it's one of the benefits, I guess, of having a government that's in total control is they have the power to do these things without any politics stepping in the way.
Yeah, well, I guess something has to happen once, and then
look, so let's talk a bit more then. So we covered the land department tax, okay? And if I sold that property to you, you would then need to pay it at that time on the value of the property at that stage.
4%.
Okay, and that will continue as many times as that property was sold. And other Emirates in than Dubai, they follow different methodologies with this, right? If I'm not mistaken, Ras Al Khaimah, you don't pay it until the handover.
Yeah, well, in Ras Al Khaimah, for example, you only have to pay I think some projects offer 2%. Yeah. So like they pay, the developer will pay 2%, and you have to pay 2%.
Right.
Some Emirates have only 2%.
Yeah.
Yes, and like you mentioned in Ras Al Khaimah, for example, you only have to pay 4% when the project is completed.
Right. Okay.
Handed over. Yeah.
Okay. So then let's like sort of whiz forward then. So on the handover, you obviously have to pay the handover payment. Okay. That then is the final tranche of money.
Well, if you have a payment plan, then yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we didn't talk about payment plans. Yeah. Another interesting point. And also we haven't talked about mortgages, I guess. Which is another point to...
Yeah. So here in Dubai, almost like all of the developers have a payment plan that you are willing to choose and pay. Actually, a lot of developers offer like different payment plans that you can follow, and you choose like the most comfortable for you. Here's actually probably good to mention that you might have a discount. You might get a discount if you pay the full amount right away.
Yeah.
And also mortgages. Well, here in Dubai, it's actually hard to get a mortgage. It's not that easy, and that's why almost all of the developers have a payment plan. And actually, like a lot of developers now have a post-handover payment plan. So you literally can buy an apartment, pay like 50 or like 60%, and then pay like 50 or 40% after you using your apartment, for example, renting it out. So with the mortgages, it is hard, but it is possible.
The thing I want to add here, because this used to be my industry. I actually used to be a mortgage advisor many, many years ago. So I have a qualification in this. So I got into it a little bit when I first came to Dubai. It was many years back. But what I found was quite unusual is that the banks here, it's difficult to get mortgage finance if you're a Dubai resident, because you have to submit a lot of paperwork and a lot of criteria to meet. Okay. However, if the size of the mortgage is fairly low in comparison to the value of the property, and it's a rental investment property, then in general you would be able to get a mortgage as long as for some reason you're not on some kind of blacklist or something. Okay. However, if you're an international investor, for some reason, it's easier to obtain the mortgage. And obviously, it depends where you're from, okay? So there's certain countries where, they are not, they don't have very robust financial systems, okay? But let's say you're from Switzerland or you're from France or something. You have a job, or you're a business owner or something there. You have a French bank account. You can show, 3 to 6 months bank statements, and you are, a French national investing from France. chances are you'd quite easily get a mortgage, okay? And that's without any sort of credit checks and that sort of thing. It's just based on you as an individual, your income, and the property itself as collateral. So it can be done, and the rates are fairly competitive. You can get rates from 5 to 6%, which if it's on a handover payment, if you rent the property out, the rental yield will easily cover your mortgage costs on a normal 25-year repayment loan. So it's another thing to think about, because a lot of people, when they come into Dubai, they also have that mindset of, okay, buy and flip or do the payment plan. But there is the option of also basically leveraging.
Yeah.
You can, instead of you paying this handover payment, you use that money for your next property and finance the handover payment and have the tenant rented out, and you build your property empire on debt. Which as a Russian you're not very familiar with, but as a Brit or as an American or a French national, this is very common practice. Okay, it's like, why spend your own money when you can spend the bank's?
Sure.
Yeah, let's okay. What else do we need to? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I guess like that's what happened a lot, like in 2008 in the States. But
it did cause. I mean, yeah, it's right. It caused the financial crisis, but that's because the banks were lending to people that couldn't afford to borrow the money,
sure.
and when the market dipped, everyone just started throwing their keys back at them. So, but now the banks are much stricter, and when they've got collateral in the property, then they are more confident to lend.
That's actually a good topic to mention here, because like. I think more than 90% of the property that was bought here in Dubai wasn't mortgaged.
That's right. So, it's a very good statistic. Again, it should be a lot of confidence to people.
So literally people were buying it with cash. So when people are saying that, like some people are saying that Dubai is a bubble, well, it's not really. Not really, like not at all. Because more than 90% of the apartments here were bought with literally cash.
So the UAE's got really favorable tax regime, and it's obviously what drives a lot of businesses and people to come and work here, myself included, to be honest. Tell us about property taxation.
Well, for now, there's like what we were talking about, 4% fee when you're first buying a property. Also, if you're managing a property as the firm, you will have to pay the taxes that are here. It's a VAT, it's called. It's a 5% tax. And also the corporate tax of 9%.
Okay, there are annual allowances though, right? So you only pay this if it's a certain amount of income
after you earn, I think it's 350,000.
Yeah, that's $100,000 US approximately. Okay. There's that to consider. And also, you can own a property in a corporate entity or an SPA, so special purpose, SPV. SPA is a sale and purchase agreement. It's a special purpose vehicle, or you can own it directly. A lot of people. But one thing to be aware of here is the law if you die and you have the property. So it's good to have a will which is registered with the local courts.
That's actually a big topic, yes, because with like the local laws here, it is hard if you don't have a will here or something like that for your family members to receive the basically what you owned.
But it's a really simple process to get the will, and they will follow. If you have a will, they'll follow the legal structure of your home country.
For sure.
So they're not going to try and override that. It's very low cost as well. So it's something that anyone who's investing, really, we would help them to facilitate. That's what Dennis and his team of angels do for our investors on the back end to help them with the whole administrative purposes. Right. So, any other advantages you can say in terms of the process over, the typical process that people might face?
No, I would say, like the main thing we touched on is like the protection that you get and the transparency with like everything here, like with your money, what you're buying. The one thing I wanted to mention that the good thing would be what will happen with your apartment if you can't pay.
Right. So you've got a payment plan, but then you're unable to make one of the
on average
installments.
So like on average, you usually get 50% back of what you paid.
Right. Okay.
But again, it's like completely different on the developer, and also you can get like in contact with the developer and like start talking to them and explain your situation. And a lot of developers will give you will give you time to pay.
And if you've already paid a certain amount, most most developers will let you resell at that
Yeah.
point anyway. So you can, and we do sometimes have people that come with distressed deals because
Yeah.
they just want their out.
Yeah,
they
for
don't
sure.
want to lose their 50%. Because they, for some reason they invested money and now they need liquidity, which does happen. We're all
Yeah,
faced
for
with
sure.
these kind of family
Yeah.
crises and things like that. And in those cases, what we do is help facilitate them
sure.
to find a buyer for their property.
Yeah.
They will sell it slightly below the current market value, but they will still be able to recoup their initial investment. So everybody wins, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's about it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Dennis. It's been very insightful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, yeah, that's it. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
very
you,
much.
guys.